Hello and welcome to episode 77 of the Youth Intake Challenge. A bit of a surprise that we're currently on the Inter Milan homepage, as people might be sparking wonderment, but that's because we got them in the cup final. So stay tuned, we'll get into that, we'll get into the end of the season review, and then we'll see what we build for next season. But it's looking like it could be an absolute stonker, so stay tuned. Welcome back. First bit of news before we get stuck into it is that Ahmed Soggy has won the English Players Young Player of the Year award. He's got 27 appearances, 12 goals, 5 assists with an average rating of 7.3. 22-year-old Ghanaian is the first player we've had to win this award, so that's absolutely fantastic, and hopefully he can go on to bigger and better things. We've got him for another 4 years as we build into next season. But before that, let's get the cup final out of the way, so stay tuned and I will bring you ready with the team sheet. Hi, welcome back. So the starting lineup for today in the cup final, biggest game in history, 155-year history of Dulwich Hamlet. First time we've been in the European final. We've got Kutlu in goals, deputising for the returning from injury Felix Ibrahim. We've got Harris, Carter, Clifford and Brewstad making up the back four. Brewstad quite lucky to be in there because actually he's losing some game time to Solkun coming through as a youngster. Midfield three of Oviehan, Mandanda and Sarkodie shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. That's our best three. However, there is a couple tired players in there from games towards the end of the season. And then we'll go with Oza, Silverio and Primus, who've been highly effective up front with a huge number of goals. You can see the goals on that right hand side there. As a front kind of 4 or 5, they've done pretty good all told. So we're going to go with that. We're not favoured for the victory. I think they were the biggest team in the competition, Inter Milan, and we got through the semi-final against Crystal Palace over 2 legs. We dominated the first leg, and I think they might have eked as a draw, just slightly beat us in the second leg. But it was good to beat the rivals in the semi-final. Now we just need one final push to maybe upset the odds and get one result that we need to maybe lift another trophy. So let's get into the game. Let's see how we get on, and hopefully tired legs don't give up too early. Benedict Joseph, we've got on the wing Samana. Some of the youngsters are filling in them bench slots. If I'm honest, I think it's probably a game too far in terms of lots of things really, squad size, fitness. It's certainly taken its toll towards the end of the season as Oza wins the ball early, but this should just peter out to nothing in the first few minutes, although Sarkodie nearly got a chance there and that would have been quite the upset from the word go. But throughout the season, I think you've got to take into account that occasionally we do beat the teams at the top of the league. I think they're 7th in Serie A at the minute, we're 9th in the Premier League, so similar in terms of position, although they've got a lot more points than we do. But I would say that nothing's beyond the realms of fantasy when it goes to Football Manager, and if your players hit right on the right day, you're always win with a chance of winning. As Sarkodie puts one into the box, but it's headed clear quite easily. He doesn't even beat the first man, and we're unable to recycle into the box. But 10 minutes into the game, it's not been an absolute one-way traffic, but I think as the game develops and we start to get players tired, you can see Mandanda's already looking quite tired. We might start to struggle, but we'll see how it goes, make a few substitutions and see if we can just eke it over the line. As Sarkodie drives forward with a fantastic run through, going all the way himself, and I thought he'd put it in the top corner there. It was absolutely majestic, but unfortunately unable to finish as Silverio wins the ball back. So actually early doors we're getting a few good chances here. Over at the edge of the box, shot blocked, can't quite get it to get across the line, but promising nonetheless. Still playing the ball out really nicely. Unable to work anything yet, but we'll come down the left hand side this time with Oza into Mandanda through to Primus. He gets a chance and he's been burying them all season, so I'm a bit surprised he's not at least hit the target to win as a corner. Another chance, Brewstad down the right this time into Sarkodie. Quite poor first ball in. Brewstad will get a chance to have another go. Brings out to Oviehan and Mandanda has a chance, but it's deflected away. Oza has a chance, but it's gone wide for a corner. So 23 minutes in, and you would say that we're playing probably above what's expected. They've not quite settled into the game yet. However, we've not taken our chances. 7 shots, 2 on target. We've got an XG of 1. We've got the lion's share of the possession as well at the half-hour mark. But we've not been able to turn that into something tangible. And this first goal is going to be important, because if we're up against it, it's going to be very hard to get back into the game with the fitness levels of the players. as they hit the post and put the deflection wide. 35 minutes in, their first real chance. I mean, Mandanda is tired on the 36th minute. We will get him off and get Harris on fresh legs early, because they're starting to make a couple chances and we don't want them to make too much momentum. Silverio shuts down another attack. Silverio not playing particularly well, and neither is Primus. However, we'll leave them on for now, and we'll get into the second half, probably about the hour mark, and we'll look at freshening up some legs. Limited on the number of substitution chances you get, so I don't want to make 3 substitutions all at the same time. Dominated possession. We'll go out for the second half. 0-0. So halfway there, we're still in the game. We're still playing better than expected, and still in with a shout. Harris is tired, and they're looking for Halliday to come on. So let's look what other changes we could make. Probably Silverio will bring Samana on. We'll probably look to take Josh Harris off. I mean, Halliday. I mean, we're going to have to. Not a change I was particularly wanting to make, but we'll make it, because he can't continue for the full 90 minutes. So the youngster Halliday will come on. I'm sure he'll do a job at left back. Hopefully they've not got too many attacks coming down that right hand side to overwhelm him. But with 40 minutes to go. Fitness levels not looking as bad as I thought they would. Samana plays the ball through, but Primus can't get on the end of it. Not looking as bad as I thought they would. However, there's still a long way to go, especially if injury time comes into play. Oza with the ball down the right side to Brustad. Does he get it into the box? Into Samana. Ovean at the edge of the box. Again, another wasted chance. And how many of these are we going to get before we're punished at the other end? Primus really not playing particularly well. And I think we probably take him off and get Liebird on as the final change. And with 30 minutes left to go, that's all the substitutions made. We've not really got anything left in the bank. Clifford's tiring, albeit I didn't want to bring de Havilland on at that stage. And we'll see if we can just nick something. Liebird's got a good finish on him. He scored a number of goals this season coming on, especially in this competition. So it's only fitting that he gets to come on for some portion of it. Halliday winning the ball back, quickly around to Clifford, Brustad. Although it's looking like they're closing us down a lot more. There we go, Cataliud has got the ball back. Roldan, but not the Roldan we know. Can we win the ball back high up the pitch? No, they've played over the top. It looked offside. It looked well offside. Yeah, free kick's given. 20 minutes to go. Looking for somebody to light up the final with a bit of inspiration, a bit of magic. I'm looking at Sarkodie, Oza. I mean, Samana is an outside chance. He's had a good ending to the season as he's embedded himself on that right hand side, getting more and more starts out there, more and more game time. But as we go into the final 10 minutes, it's 0-0. Can somebody nick something? 7 minutes to go, another highlight. Ball cleared. I mean, Inter Milan are growing into the game now. Milizia gets a chance, but can't finish it. They've started to make some substitutions to try and turn the fitness levels into their favour, but it's really grinding out a result here. 2 minutes to go. Inter Milan pushing for a winner at the end of the game. And he's flicked it into the goals. Only an offside would be able to save us here. It's been disallowed, so we've had a stay of execution. That looked like it was going to be too late for us to do anything about it. 2 of them offside. Ball over the top, but yeah, we live to fight another day, but things are starting to turn into Inter Milan's favour. I think they've got up to an XG of 1, and it's going to go to extra time. I think we get some extra substitutions in here. We'll just tell them to keep on going. I won't make any changes because they've had a bit of a rest, although, in fact, yeah, Clifford de Havilland, I think we're going to have to, because can we afford to carry a high player at centre-half when they're starting to press? Probably not. That's probably as fit as we're going to get. We just need a break over the top. Free kick to Inter Milan. Kutlu tips it away. And we progress into extra time. Roll down with a corner. Cleared again. Sarkodie, can he get on the end of it and form some sort of break? No. Again, I think we'll shout some encouragement. We're just starting to fade out a little bit from the game. We had our early pressure, but we were unable to get a goal on it as we approach half-time and extra time. And this could go all the way to penalties. What But what a wonderful cup final it'll be if it goes to penalties and you win. But if you go to penalties and you lose, it's going to be devastating. One final chance just before half-time. Ball over the top. And he scored halfway through extra time. Oh, it's devastating. And I think we're going to, well, half-time and extra time, we're going to have to go attacking to try and get back into the game. I think we'll probably also have to put another player up front just in behind. But it looks just to be a touch too far for us this year. Sarkodie into Carter Harris. Oviehan into Liebert. Flicks it through to Rosa. He's got a chance and he's blazed it over the bar. That looked like that might have been the one that could have got us back into the game. But as you can, Inter have they've just built their way into the game, and in the second half they've just been too strong for us. As Oviehan brings it forward, Sarkodie over the top to Liebert. He gets a chance, but it's saved. So we're still pressing Samana down the right hand side. He's offside, and they get a chance to regroup. 10 minutes to go. Samana in it goes to Liebert over here, and it's deflected out for a corner. Getting a couple of chances towards the end of the game, but we're just much like the start of the game when we were getting a few chances, we're unable to put them away. It's not been the day for our strikers to finish the chances that they've been got. And Sarkodie with another chance now over the top. Malizia's going to break for Inter. He's gone right down the right hand side. He's going to take it to the corner and do some time wasting. Halliday wins the ball back, but with only 3 minutes to go, it's looking like this is going to be the Nearly trophy. One final corner, 120th minute, 2 minutes of injury time. Can somebody get their head on the end of it? Oh, he's been pushed. It's a penalty. It looks like he was pushed. It's a penalty in 120th minute. The penalty's been awarded. Is that Silverio stepping up? Oh, Oza. And he's put it in. He's equalised. He's equalised it right to death. And this game could well now go to penalties. Oza slots it to the right hand side. And the players are absolutely shattered. And we will go into the penalty shootout and just see what happens. So, I mean, I thought it was over. I didn't think we were going to be able to rescue that. Oza will take the first penalty and he scores. So second penalty of the game. Can Kutlu be the hero? He's gone the wrong way initially, but 1-1 after the first two penalties. Sarkodie will step up. He's normally pretty reliable from the spot. Oh, commentators goes. So first miss goes to Dulwich. Straight away we get one back. This is an absolute emotional rollercoaster. Harris steps up. He scores. Puts us in the driving seat. Pressure's on Naldo now. Come on, Kutlu. Come on. Can't save it. So it goes to the fourth penalty. Up steps Samana, the youngster who's integrated himself on the right hand side. He scores, puts the pressure back on into Milan. Kalatiyad steps up. Kutlu again, and he's caught it. Not only has he saved it, he has caught it with even a chance for Oviehan, the Nigerian deep line playmaker, the chance to win the game, win as a trophy in Europe. And he scored it. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, this was unexpected. Absolutely amazing from where we were to where we are now. I mean, who can believe that? I never thought it was going to happen. The penalty share when Sarkodie missed. Again, what a cup final that is. First European trophy for Dulwich. Years ahead of where I would have expected it to be. And potentially got us back into Europe again next season. Wow. Inter Milan will be gutted. I think over the first half they were their team. They came into the second half. They got themselves ahead in extra time and thought they'd won it, but in the death throes of extra time, we got a penalty. Oza stepped up and scored it, and we've gone on to win on penalties. So absolutely magnificent. I'll get us through to the end of season review. This is the cream on the cake. We've built on last season with an absolutely momentous trophy win this season. and the end of season review should be pretty good. So I'll be back shortly. I'll try and wipe the smile off my face. I'm going to have to get a drink to calm down, and then we'll get the end of season review out of the way, so stay tuned. Before we get to the end of season review, just a couple bits of news. 2 Dulwich Hamlet players were named in the Europa League squad of the season. Clifford and Harris, which is absolutely amazing, especially for Harris, the young lad at left back. Clifford's been a great defender for a number of years, but Harris has come through first season really, coming in his first team left back, and he's got himself in the Europa League team of the season. What that actually means is we qualify for the Champions League. So, I mean, you can't understate the importance of that actually, because what that means is we're in the Champions League, so players who are wanting clauses to get released for Champions League clubs shouldn't really be going for that anymore. So in terms of hanging on to Sarkodie and some of our best players, this is an absolutely massive tick in the box. So I'll carry on. I'll get to the end of season review. I'll be back, and still absolutely buzzing. And here we go for the end of season review, 2047-48 season. Transfers out. We got shot on McAvoy, Canderton, Bostwick and Yerboa. McAvoy had been with us for a huge number of years. He even had a testimonial. A 33-year-old, though, we had to let him go. He's since played 44 games for Exeter, got 3 assists and a goal, so he's done really well since moving on. Canderton, who he'll then go to an AC for 11.5 million, which is an absolute steal. In the end, I was glad he went, because he just became an absolute pain in the backside, constantly asking and whinging and disrupting the squad. So he went. Jordan Bostwick, 6.75 million to Austin FC. He was very similar to Canderton. He wasn't getting the game time he wanted, but in the midfield 3 we've got of Mandanda, Sarkodie and Oviehan. They just weren't getting in there, so they had no rights really to argue. And Eric Yeboah we let move on because he was never going to get into the first team. In terms of the players we let go out on loan, lots of them went out. Caden Keys, I think we've got a mandatory transfer fee to try and get him away. But a huge number of loans. We won't go through all of them. The ones that we're interested in really is Svingadis, who's scored 15 goals while he's been away, and Giwa, who's played 36 games for Barnet. Again, these players are probably going to come back and be part of the squad next season. In terms of the competitions, Premier League, unfortunately we didn't get into them European spots on points. We finished about 6 points outside of there. Part of that was to do with the end of the season. We just fell to a couple of defeats, Sunderland, West Ham, Wolverhampton and Forest, just at the wrong time really, because we'd got ourselves in a position where we could qualify, but the number of European games took its toll on the squad. Fitness levels took a bit of a dive, and just towards the end we couldn't get enough points. However, that's been trumped by us winning the Europa League and getting his Champions League next season. So final position 9th, A- from the board, fantastic finish, and I think throughout the season we're fairly consistent across performances and getting some points out. Europa League, I think we drew 2 games. We drew with Marseille in the first leg, BRG Braga, so 3-3 with them, but we didn't really face anybody difficult until we got to maybe, I don't know, the Crystal Palace, we would say is a comparable team with us, and then Inter Milan in the final. The rest of the teams along the way, I don't know if it's because of the leagues that are open and closed, etc., but none of them were particularly difficult for us. I think we were always quite favoured to get some points out of the game, but that as a competition is absolutely magnificent, and to win a European trophy at this stage is superb. And we'll still keep looking to build as we move forward. The next target, really, having won an FA Cup and a European Cup, is the Premier League. So, FA Cup wise, we got knocked out in the quarterfinals by Wolves after beating Peterborough, Colchester, and Southampton before that. Carabao Cup, similar story. We beat Arsenal and West Ham, and we got another tough draw against Man United. So, I don't think we were destined to get very far in that competition. And then, obviously, in the Community Shield at the start of the season, we got beat 4-2 by Spurs, but that was before we'd really gathered any kind of momentum. Moments to remember, biggest win in the Premier League was a 4-1 victory over Man United. Mandanda, Primus, Sarkodie and Silveria with the goals. A match to remember was a 4-4 against West Ham, a Sarkodie hat-trick and Mandanda with 1, which was an absolute barnstormer of a game. And in the FA Cup we beat Peterborough 3-2. That was a goal of the season for Liebert with a fantastic strike. And it was good to see Tony Dunk there on the score sheet, former Dulwich player, getting on the score sheet for Peterborough against us. So that was a little special moment for a reunion in that game. In terms of the finances, I think reputation has gone up. All our annual revenue has gone up overall. Broadcast revenue slightly down, but I think all told across them all, it's a positive. And then shirt seals, you've got Sarkodie, Mandanda, Primus, Clifford and Oza, which is nothing really surprising in there, I don't think. How we lined up then, so Ibrahim in goals, Harris, Clifford, Carter, Brewstad across the back, Oviedo, Mandanda, Sarkodie, Oza, Silverio, Primus, and that was pretty solid all the way through. Harris the only one really integrating him in there. Samana coming in on the right hand side towards the end, but that'll change slightly as we move forward, because I think Joseph's going to push for the left hand side, Solken's going to push for the right hand side. So a couple of little changes to the squad as a whole, but what a fantastic time we've had this season. History in the making, no awards for me unless any come at the end of the season. In terms of club awards, fans player of the year Sarkodie, young player Sarkodie, goal of the season Liebird, which we saw. Raheem Primus 24 goals, so he's improved on last year. Silverio got most assists with 12, most man of matches Sarkodie, highest average rating Sarkodie, and Darvalan most players of the match. Competition awards, English Players Player of the Year with Sarkodie, which we took a little peek at the start of the episode. But all told, probably the best season we've had so far, building on the magnificent FA Cup win last season, and the manager timeline now has a European trophy on it. So 6 high potential players. It's Dimitris Svingindis featured in the Next Gen awards, so he wasn't in the number 1 or anything, but he was in the top 50, which was brilliant. And then Sarkodie got the English Young Player of the Year, and to crown it all off for the season, we got the Europa League. I'll get through the transfer window. I'll bring you back with what the squad looks like next season, and then as we end the episode, we won't play the first game of next season. We'll just look at some of the players who have come into the squad, some of the players who've done well, and look at what we're going to build on for next season. So stay tuned, and I'll be back with what the squad looks like for the years to come. And welcome back for the final update of the episode. The players have been included in the squad for this season. So first up's Marlon Harris. We bring him in as young centre half. He's not ready quite for first team yet, but he'll probably get some games in amongst the European football and the cup games. It came in the latest youth intake. He's one of the better centre halves in terms of potential at the club. So I'm quite keen to get him some game time early on and get him into the squad. So that's the first one that's getting added into the squad. Players we're looking to eject is Collins and Yango. I think he's kind of served his purpose in the team now. He's been a really good filler at left and right back. As much as I'd like to keep him in the squad just for nostalgia's sake, I think it's probably time just to move him on, let him go somewhere else, and let the players who can come in behind fill in that. That leads into Alex Solken. He's going to be our new first team right back. He's going to overtake Brewstad. I think I'm just going to force him into as many games as possible. And get him into that full back position, as he's got a slightly higher potential threshold. Although it's only 3 stars, gusting 4, that could be the difference between Premier League standard or not. So he'll move in. Lee Wilson's another one we want to eject. So he's served his purpose. Squad player, didn't play many games last season, some off the bench, but we'll look to move him on and give more time to some of the other centre halves with a higher potential. Jamu Giwa, he came in at the start of last season. We sent him away on loan, but he's back now. And again, I'm going to use him rotationally in that deep line defensive midfielder role. I think he's just about ready to go in there, driven personality, and I'm keen to see what the 18-year-old can do as he gets into the first team squad. Alongside him, Victor Brinkhurst, another centre half. Again, really high potential player. Just want to bring him in, get him some exposure to the first team, training with the first team players, and seeing if we can get that potential realised as quickly as possible. After Brinkhurst, we'll go down to Jesper Strid, another fullback, and this is why we want to get Nyango out of the squad. He's going to come in as well. 3.5 gusting up to 4.5 star potential ability. Again, really good mental ability, really good physical attributes. Just needs a little bit of a technical side, and the young Albanian will be suited right for either right back or left back in the team. So that's Jesper Strid. Marcus Silverio, he's one that I probably want to let go now. 2.5 star max, 30 years old. Part of the cup winning team, and he's been really good over a huge number of years. But I think it's probably time to let him go and let Samana, etc., come in and take his place. Keep going down then. Who else we got? Seamus Burnley was in last season. So was Samana. Adam Bent's hopefully going to get some more games this season. Really high promise player on the right hand side. Can also play up front. Looking to transition that right hand side away from winger into inside forward to try and get some more game time for Liebird. But again, another young player coming in. Benedict Joseph got a lot of game time last year. Josh Harris is coming. This is one we're excited about because his personality has changed to perfectionist, so he might be the next one to kind of experiment with and see how much game time we can give him and how he can develop. Plays in the advanced midfield role. I'm probably going to slip him back into a substitute for Sarkodie, perhaps, if he's more of a playmaker, maybe an attacking midfielder instead of Mandanda at occasion. But I think he looks like a really handy player. And again, we want to get him as much exposure as possible. Liebert was in last season, got a number of goals, and now we've got Dimitris Svingindis coming in as well. Picked up in the next gen list, so we want to get him some game time now and expose him to some European and cup football. So that's the new players in the squad. I'll just quickly show you how the friendlies have gone. We've had a number of testimonials. So Clifford had his testimonial, we beat Dynamo 4-2. Silverio had a testimonial, we beat Bayer 5-2, and Mandanda had his, who we beat Eintracht Frankfurt 5-0. So the friendlies have gone largely well. In terms of the it's like a European Super Cup type thing. Atalanta beat us 3-2, and then we beat Nacional de Madeira 2-0 in the third place playoffs. We'll have the UEFA Super Cup and everything to come forward, but I'm not going to show any more games this episode. The cup win has been enough for that. I'll end the episode, I'll get playing, and when the next youth intake preview comes in, I'll hopefully give you a really good update of where we are in the league, and hopefully we've had a season comparable to last one. Certainly some of the players that need to develop, and we'll have a closer look at some of them players who've been introduced to the squad, see how many games they've got and see how they developed. Just have a bit more focus on how the youth is going. But until next time, enjoy your saves, enjoy your football. Hopefully you've enjoyed the cup win, and I'll see you next time.